I'm Scott Webb. I work in the Savage Scholar program in the MBA program at BYU. People come to me and say, why should I go back and get an MBA? It's all so theoretical and I want stuff that's actually going to help me in my job. And I empathize with them. I mean, I understand. It feels like a lot of what we learn is theory. Well, a few years back, the Savage brothers, who started an energy and mining supply chain company here in Utah, came to us and said, we want to change the educational experience for people. We want to give a select few students the opportunity at BYU to do hands-on type learning, and we want it to be global. So they gave us a few $1 million and said, put this program together. And so what we have at BYU now is a consulting company that's almost entirely run by students. My oversight on this company is very, very minor. It's basically to help introduce them to companies that want people to do consulting for them, and then to kind of guide them and lead them on how this consulting studies should be accomplished. So we have our own internal consulting company here, and it's very competitive to get in. But it is one of the huge advantages of coming to BYU and being in our MBA program is you get this hands-on experience. One of the unique pieces about the Savage Scholar program is we bring in the best of the best in the consulting companies that consult in supply chain. So PricewaterhouseCoopers and Deloitte come in and they actually do a week. Each group does a week of hands-on training of this is how these companies create and engage with customers to scope their consulting studies. And then they also spend a week of, this is our process. This is how we step through a consulting study step by step and do fact-based analysis. What this leads to is when you're done with this, Deloitte knows you, PwC knows you, and they know that you know their system and they know that you've done actual projects using the way that they do projects. The consulting companies love our Savage Scholars. It's a bonus to this program, is it creates a core competency at BYU and for you for these consulting companies to recruit you and to work as a consultant when you're done. On top of the consulting studies, we try to pick projects that are super interesting, but that are also global. At the end of your first semester as a Savage Scholar, you'll get to travel worldwide. This last year, we went to London and Paris and Florence, Italy, and Athens, Greece. And we followed the supply chain of Cummins diesel engines from the customer, through the factory, through distribution centers, through the port of Greece. And we saw how this whole supply chain fits together and works. So it's not only an opportunity to do these hands-on type consulting studies, get really tangible skills, get actual resume experience from a program and from a class, it also allows you to travel globally and see the global nature of supply chains in the world today. I've been asked, what do I have to do to prepare myself better to be a Savage Scholar? That's a good question because really only about 15% of the people that apply to be Savage Scholars are accepted. It is a very competitive program. What you can do and what we're looking for is people that not only have a desire for international experience, but do have some international experience. And certainly at Brigham Young University, that's easy to come by. We've got a lot of return missionaries. We've got a lot of people that speak second languages. We actually have a lot of people that have been expats and lived abroad. That said, if you don't have global experience, it doesn't disqualify you. We want passion. We want people that understand and have this desire to be a global citizen and understand the ability of supply chains to connect the world. That said, the other part is obviously we want people that are rock stars in the classroom. We want people that have specialized skills, that can do data analysis, that can put together the pieces that are sometimes elusive to other people and understand the whole comprehensive and synthesis of how a supply chain works together. Really what this class is looking for is people that are future executives. And what we do is train people to be those executives leaving Brigham Young University in the near future. If you have those leadership capabilities, that's huge as well. I think it's a one-of-a-kind of experience and something that really not only sets BYU apart, but it'll set you apart.